Hello, crypto boys and ghouls, and welcome back to the channel, Tales from the Cryptmancer, where we feature content on play and earn games on the blockchain, such as Splinterlands. And in today's video, I have some interesting rumors that are probably going to be interesting if you're a Splinterlands player, or if you have been involved in the Rooney project. Maybe you own a Rooney on Ethereum, or maybe you're looking at a Rooney purchase potentially soon. Well, this could be news that would be interesting for you. And it's a question of, is new utility coming to Rooney as soon as potentially next week? Well, let's take a look at it and let's dive into some of these rumors and news. The first thing I want to call your attention to, shout out to Dahota here. Dahota, one of the Splinterlands community members, actually tagged a number of us here on Twitter with this this kind of announcement that Elysium Metagods had posted on Twitter. And you're like, well, what is Elysium Metagods? Well, I think we're all kind of in that same boat asking that same question, but let's look at the specific tweet here. It says, from Elysium Metagods, join us next week to talk about the huge potential that can be unlocked when projects like Elysium Metagods, CryptoMonks, and Splinterlands join forces to deliver a multi-platform that can bring many NFT projects together. And what's interesting about this is that this Twitter space that's scheduled for December 14th in the evening in US time is actually after Splinterland's rescheduled town hall for next week on Wednesday. So it aligns really well with the news cycle coming out of Splinterlands. And what's interesting specifically about this, you might think, well, this is maybe a phishing thing, and maybe Elysium Metagods is a scam, never heard of it, and what is this? Well, I actually did some research here, and it's pretty interesting. So if we search Elysium Metagods Twitter, what's interesting here is there was actually a Twitter space on October 16th, which I believe was shortly after Splinterfest, where Elysium Metagods and CryptoMonks had merged and had a Twitter space at that time. And if you listen to this Twitter space, it's actually a little over an hour, and it features PJ Gorel here, and I hope I'm pronouncing the last name right. But PJ, if you recall correctly, I believe is the new CTO of Splinterlands, having replaced Hardpoint in that role with the most recent reorganization at Splinterlands. And if you listen to PJ on this particular Twitter space, well, CryptoMonks has merged with Metagods in kind of a partnership here, Elysium Metagods, to use their kind of metaverse platform together. And again, just to put context here, if you recall, PJ here is a co-founder of CryptoMonks, and CryptoMonks is here on OpenSea, and you can see their collection here has a floor price of 0.0975 ETH. Has 746 ETH volume, has 994 owners. And CryptoMonks here was actually, I believe, the inspiration for Rooney. And that's how Rooney was essentially created, with a kind of a collaboration of PJ here. And what's interesting as well, you can see here on the CryptoMonks homepage, here's PJ as a co-founder of CryptoMonks. Patrick is leading a high-frequency fund and on-chain strategist whose data science work has been featured at the World Economic Forum in Davos. Previously, Patrick built the world's largest social analytics platform and is currently VP of a company with over 4.5 billion in revenue. Well, I don't know how many jobs PJ has besides CryptoMonks and Splinterlands, but I don't think Splinterlands has $4.5 billion in revenue, so maybe that's a different job or a former job. I'm not really sure. But now we know that PJ's, I think, main focus should be on Splinterlands as CTO there. And if we go into Elysium Metagods here, if you look at their OpenSea project, Elysium Metagods, again, an Ethereum-based project here with all these NFTs. The floor price here is 0.01 ETH. It's only 73 ETH in volume, and there's only 510 owners. So it's a small project, I would say, generally speaking. There's a lot of owners here. You can see there's only 26% unique users. So there's some owners that have a lot of these Elysium Metagod NFTs. But what's interesting about the project here is if you go to their website, you could connect your wallet and bring your Elysium Metagods into this world here. And it's got like a world map here you can see and kind of drill down into it and such. But really, it's not like a game per se. It's really an NFT staking and kind of DeFi platform here where you take the NFTs. You can see, we'll show this video here. You can take the NFTs on OpenSea, which are your gods. You basically take your gods, you stake them into the Elysium world here, which they're dragging on the right. They're then adding items, weapons, and armor to those gods, and it gives them different staking returns. And then you stake them in the game on Ethereum, and then you basically generate on a daily basis the god token as a way to earn off those NFTs. So it's not really a game per se, but it does have token. It does have a yield. It's kind of like a stake farming or yield farming NFT at that point in time. And there's some utility, I guess, with a token to buy loot chests, buy armor, forge armor or weapons and things like that. But it's a very basic concept, nothing too fancy. But what I want to do is I want to play a clip from the Twitter space where PJ talks about the vision of the crypto monks merge with Elysium here, and kind of the vision of this metaverse and this connected Ethereum or multi-chain metaverse for games, tokens, and platforms, and what it could mean for the future here.
We want our tokens to be used with other groups, period. So if we can make special things happen and we're able to use tokens between all of these groups in utility, and guess what? Everybody benefits from that. It's I can't even express it more. We have to think about the fundamentals of how the economics work in these groups, and I think that one of the first things that most of these groups is really missing is the medium of exchange, the reason to exchange, and the markets that are made in between these communities. How they work, we have to develop that still. It's not a part of the platform, but that's one of those really fascinating things that we can do that keeps us together and keeps these communities working, and we work together on these types of problems. But once you start to build markets for these communities and markets for these tokens, I think everybody's sentiment is going to change. Everybody's going to realize, like, oh, okay, we have a medium now. But there's a way for all of us to interface. There's a way for all of us to trade. What's next? Well, it's to game together. It's to start making these completely separate realities. History and lore start to work together. We call this interfacing. And what we hope to see is interfacing between not just monks and Elysium Metagods, but 50 other large communities start to join in and interface with us. I don't see all of the trade happening on decentralized exchanges. I see it happening here on a platform like this between communities that are their own exchange. They are their own mediums. There's no need to go anywhere else for a lot of this stuff, right? The games don't have to be the same, right? Now, these are these egregious goals that I talk about, but you have to have these types of goals if you really want to start thinking for the long term. And you really have to have an idea how you want to get there, right? Ours is to start small. Let's see what happens when we do two groups, and let's see what happens if we can get them to play, right? And then we can get them to play together, right? And once we have that, then we go to larger communities and we say, hey guys, look, we have all of this stuff that we can offer you. And you guys know which communities I'm probably talking about, but we go to those communities and we say, look, it's here. You get access to all these other groups and all these other communities on the Ethereum network. Let's start building bridges to other chains and to other groups. And I think that's going to be exciting. I think that's going to show people the true value of not just what a platform like what Elysium Metagods has built can do, but what a bunch of degens with an aspiration to get into Web3 can actually do. Because I see this stuff happen, and we've been trying to make this stuff happen for years now. So I just really look forward to this.
So what does this merge or partnership with Elysium Metagods potentially mean for Rooney and for Splinterlands? It's hard to say. I don't know the specific details. We can just kind of try and piece it all together here and see what makes sense. But my guess is The announcement will probably be introducing Rooney on the Ethereum blockchain into Elysium Metagods in some form or fashion, some of that integration with maybe the ability to stake Rooney in Elysium Metagods and earn some type of token or, God forbid, another token to manage, but some type of reward or some type of way to use your Rooney outside of Splinterlands on the Ethereum blockchain in Elysium Metagods as a platform, and also some kind of tokenomics or game interactions between crypto monks and Elysium Metagods to encourage all of those communities to either buy each other's NFTs and some kind of collaboration. Maybe have Rooney fighting alongside Elysium NFTs and CryptoMonk NFTs, and by owning one of each, you get special bonuses of other tokens in their other communities, et cetera, et cetera. It's hard to say what the gamified kind of DeFi looks like there, but it's probably safe to say that there will be additional utility coming to Rooney with this integration or merge into Elysium Metagods, probably with the CryptoMonks platform, probably with the Elysium Metagod platform, and another way to use the Rooney, again, outside of Splinterlands. So let's see what happens. Let's see the news. I wanted to share this with you. I think it's timely, especially, for example, if you're looking at a Rooney and you maybe don't own one yet. You can see here the pricing at the floor is 0.2711 ETH. It's still below the public mint floor of 0.38 ETH. So now could be the time. There's only, it looks like right now, roughly, looks like 30, maybe 30 to 35 Rooney below the public mint price right now. So it's potentially time if you, again, not financial advice, but if it's something that you were looking at Rooney for using in Splinterlands already and you don't have one, now may be the time to look at getting one before this news breaks, because, well, it could cause some FOMO for other people to potentially look at Rooney in the future next week, next Wednesday, or other communities like Elysium Metagods or CryptoMonks might have some eyes to get up buy some Roonies at that point in time as well. So again, wanted to share this information with you. I don't have any specific information other than what we can delve on Twitter. Again, shout outs to Dahoda for sharing this tidbit of information. And until next time, keep stacking those stats.